there, and welcome to the very first episode of Two Therapists Walk Into a Podcast. I'm Robin Green, LCSW.
And I'm Stephanie Edsel, LCSW. We're two trauma therapists, longtime friends, and humans who decided it was time to bring the heart of our conversations out into the open, because we know how deeply healing it can be just to feel understood.
We created this podcast to be a soft landing, a place where you can learn about the nervous system, trauma, healing, and connection, but in a way that feels grounding, not overwhelming.
So if you've ever asked yourself, why do I react like this? Or what's wrong with me? This space is for you. And just so you know, right from the start, there's nothing wrong with you.
We're not here to give perfect answers or quick fixes. We're here to offer honest reflections, gentle tools, and a little space to breathe. You'll hear some laughter, maybe some rambling, but always a whole lot of heart. Before we go any further, let's take a moment together. If you feel comfortable, take a breath in through your nose and gently out through your mouth. Let your shoulders soften if they're ready.
Just notice, without judgment, how your body is meeting you today. There's no wrong way to arrive here. You don't need to be calm or centered. You just need to be you.
Wherever you are right now, we're glad you're here with us. So, here's why this podcast exists. So, this podcast is about bridging the gap between knowing and feeling, between neuroscience and compassion, between clinical tools and lived experience, because healing doesn't come from information alone. It comes from understanding, connection, and care.
We started this podcast because we saw how many people were trying to heal with pieces of the puzzle, but missing the language, the validation, or the deeper why. And let's be honest, there's a lot of noise out there. It can be hard to know what's helpful and what's just hype.
So the space is different. It's grounded, warm, and human. We're here to help things make sense without oversimplifying or overwhelming. We want you to feel more equipped, more curious, and more gentle with yourself by the end of each episode.
And to know that however you're showing up, frozen, fawning, fried, you're not broken. You're wired to survive, and your body's doing the best it can.
Healing can be lonely, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes just hearing someone say, "That makes sense," can shift everything.
We're not here to give you a blueprint. We're here to walk beside you, to witness, to wonder, and to offer what we've learned, both from our work and from our own messy healing journeys.
So what to expect? So series 1, it's going to be Foundations of Healing. This first series is all about the basics, but not in a boring way. We're talking about the foundation of healing, what trauma does to your brain and body, how to recognize your nervous system responses, and what regulation actually is.
We'll explore fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. But we'll also talk about the quieter stuff, like dissociation, shutdown, and the feeling of being disconnected from yourself.
Each episode will offer tools, gentle reframes, and space to reflect. Our hope is that you walk away not just with knowledge, but with kindness towards your own system.
And if something doesn't land right away, that's okay. Sometimes healing is about hearing the same truth in a new way when you're finally ready to receive it. So, with every episode, we're going to have a little section or piece, what have you, called the nervous system nugget. We'll share a small but mighty nervous system nugget, something that you can hold on to when things feel unclear.
So here's your first one. You're not overreacting, you're overprotecting. That's your nervous system doing what it was designed to do, respond to danger. The invitation here is to pause and gently ask, what might I need right now?
That one question can interrupt a shame spiral and reconnect you to yourself.
Our approach is kind of blending science and soul. We're going to bring both science and soul to this space, and you'll hear us talk about things like neuroplasticity, polyvagal theory, attachment, but also intuition, grief, self-compassion, and personal responsibility.
Because the nervous system doesn't heal in a vacuum, it heals in a relationship with safety, rhythm, and care.
Our approach is informed by years of clinical experience, but also by our own lives. We're in this too, and we want to bring you along in a way that's gentle, grounded, and honest.
So here's some coping tools that we're going to be actually trying and using today. So a simple body-based tool we come back to again and again called orienting.
So when you feel overwhelmed or checked out, if you have the capacity, I want you to pause and look around the space that you're in and slowly turn your head and let your eyes land on something neutral or comforting. Let your system take in your surroundings.
You can also try this, that 5 senses grounding. You don't have to specifically do them in any order, but I like to name 5 things I can see, 4 things I can touch, 3 things I can hear, 2 things I can smell, and the one thing I like about this moment or myself.
This helps bring your nervous system into the present moment. And even if you just do part of it, that's enough. So just a reminder, this podcast isn't therapy. It's not a substitute for individualized support.
But it is a place for learning, reflection, and hopefully feeling a little less alone. Our goal is not to fix you. It's to walk beside you and offer what we can.
Sometimes it's the smallest shift that opens a door, and we're honored to be part of that moment when and if it comes. So next episode, we'll start exploring one of the most validating pieces of this work, your brain on trauma, why you react the way you do. We'll gently unpack what's going on inside your brain and body when you feel overwhelmed, not to pathologize it, but to help it make sense.
Yeah, it's one of the most perspective-shifting episodes in this series, and we really can't wait to share it with you.
So before we wrap up, we want to leave you with a gentle reflection. What would it feel like to offer yourself a little more softness the next time your nervous system flares up?
No pressure to figure it out. Just notice the question. Maybe carry it with you this week like a quiet companion.
Sometimes healing is just that, a small moment of noticing without judgment.
Yeah, so in closing, if something here resonated, if you felt even a little bit more understood, we'd love for you to stay with us.
You can subscribe, share it with someone you care about, or just come back next week. There's space here for you.
Take your time, be gentle, and know that we're in this with you.
See you next episode.
And remember, healing isn't linear, and we're here for the ride. Thanks for sitting with us today. If something resonated, we'd love it if you shared the episode, left a review, or connected with us on social. We're 2 therapists walk into a podcast on most platforms. You can listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not therapy, does not replace therapy, and does not establish a therapist-client relationship. If you're in crisis, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional or call 988 in the U.S. Robin Green is a licensed therapist in Arizona, and Stephanie Edsall is licensed in Utah. and this podcast is intended for a general audience.